with Angus Menuge, who is the current president of the Evangelical Philosophical Society. And we're going to talk about the defense of the soul, which for some of you, you might not even know what we're talking about. And so if you would, could you kind of explain what that is and why it's important?
Right, the soul is basically a mental substance. A substance in philosophy means something that can stay the same over time. And it has various properties over that time. And it's very important because it means that we're more than just a collection of parts. We're not just physical objects like cars or trees or chairs or something like that, but there's something that's special about a human being, their soul.
So contrast that from a theistic perspective or a Christian perspective versus some people who would say, no, that's all we are, is just like a car or like a machine. And then what would be some of the implications of that theistic view of the soul and of the human?
Right, in the Bible it talks about us, 1 Thessalonians 5:23, that we are a body, soul, and spirit, all united together. And the spirit is the passive side of us that receives the Holy Spirit. The soul is the active, rational side. It's the side that thinks and wills. And of course it's all united with our body into one person. So we're certainly intended to be a unity, one person with body, soul, and spirit. The materialistic view says, no, all there are collections of particles.
Yeah.
And so they'll say you can have a bunch of electrons that are arranged like a table, and you can have a bunch of electrons that are arranged like a person, and there's really no inherent difference between them. And so obviously it has implications for the value and dignity of human life. If we're just another physical object, why think we're any more valuable than those other physical objects?
Yeah. So how would someone who holds to that second perspective, how would they make an argument for value or for meaning in life? Or do they even try? Do they just say, well, there is no argument, just deal with it and suck it up? Or do some actually try to make a case for it?
It depends. Yeah. Some of them will say the physical is all there is and there are no values or purpose. They eliminate that whole realm. But many, they'll say that no, those things just depend on having a brain that's complicated enough. And so they use words like emerge. If you have a complicated enough brain and all of a sudden you have conscious states, you're able to think about the world, you can understand moral issues and all the rest of it. And defenders of the soul argue that this is all extremely unlikely. It seems that you're getting something for free that's very different than you see in any other physical object. You can look at very complex objects in the world, like whole galaxies, extremely complicated, no consciousness, no thoughts. It can't understand a moral obligation. There seems to be something special about us.
Yeah, and of course, as you mentioned, there's so many implications for this, and one of the things that we talk about often is what you believe matters, and what worldview you adopt matters in very practical ways.